You've had a lot of people, and you have been influenced by a lot of what you have seen, you know, a lot of what you've read and studied and all of that. Terry Gilliam gave you some advice before you made Reservoir Dogs. You remember what it was?
Yeah, I sure do. You see movies and they can be full of vision, and you know you want your movies to be like that. But you know you see these other movies that don't have any vision, but I'm sure the director tried. So what's the difference between this guy versus that guy? How was this guy able to get this on the screen, and how was this guy not able to get this on the screen? I'm sure if I talked to that guy, he'd tell all these, you know, I'm sure he wanted that. Who knows? And I was afraid of being that guy. I want to be that guy. And, well, Terry Gilliam definitely has a vision. No 2, 3, 4 ways about it. So we were at Sundance, and it was like a lunch going on at the picnic tables there, and everyone else FO'd. And it was just me and him talking, which was a thrill. And I go, look, you know, you have a very specific vision in your movies, and it's right there on the screen. How do you do that? How do you get that vision that's in your head? How do you get it on the screen? And he said, well, Quentin, you have to understand, as a director, you don't have to do that. Your job is to hire talented people who can do that. You hire a cinematographer who can get the kind of quality that you want. You don't have to be able to know how to take the lights and move them around to create an effect. You hire a talented costume designer who can give the colors that you need and the flamboyance or not that you want. You hire a production designer who can do that. Your job is explaining your vision. Your job is articulating to them what you want on the screen. And then all of a sudden, the whole mystical, shamanistic thing that I thought directing was just went boop. And I realized I could do that. That it wasn't this Merlin-like magic kit that I needed to know the right spell in order to conjure. I can describe what I want. I know what's in my head. That's the easiest part. I'm good at describing.
Does this creative power that you have, this creative energy, have an outlet anywhere other than film? Now, you'll argue criticism, and I'll take that. But what else? I mean, do you create music?
No, I don't create it.
Yeah,
no.
You don't create that. Yeah.
No, I appreciate it.
Yeah. And you make movies about it.
Yes, exactly. And I use it in my movies, and it is a huge part of my aesthetic.
It is. It really is.
It really is.
It's not only, it's a defining part of your...
I would agree, but I don't make it. And that's actually part of, you know...
So what does that make you, a kind of aggregator?
Yeah, it's like, you know, I guess... Yeah. Well, it also, it is modern art going on. There is a slightly, you know, for lack of a better word, a hip-hop aesthetic of taking something that already exists, taking what you like from what already exists, and putting it into your own work, and by the way you do it and the way you frame it, creating something that didn't exist before. Now, it's taken a while for that to be respected, all right? But that's always kind of where I've been coming from.
And how do you use it? What does it add to the film?
Well, I mean, personally, I just think...
it creates mood, it creates...
Well, I just
pacing.
I think it's one of the most... I try not to use music just as a case of pacing. That's how everybody else does it. They put innocuous music just to kind of get the ticking clock going on.
I should have been embarrassed to even suggest you do that.
You know, but I think the reason that my music works so good is I don't just blanket it in there. When it is in there, it's there for a real purpose. But I actually think the right use of movie image and connected with the right music is usually the most cinematic moments in the history of cinema, especially now that we've gotten to the point where we can actually cut to music. And you know, those are the cinematic moments. Those are the moments that I'm waiting for as the clock's ticking down as I'm watching the movie.
So is it joy for you putting the movie together in the editing room? Is that what you like most, rather than filming the scenes and making, you know, putting it in?
I know it's all great. I mean, look, admittedly, editing is far less hysterical. You know, you get up and go to the work.
It's probably more creative too, isn't it?
Well, it's not. No, it's not. It's not more creative than shooting. Shooting is
creative.
Shooting is crazy creative, especially the way I do it. All right, but
what's that? How do you do it? It makes it different.
Well, I do it. You know, it seems like, you know, I hate to be the oldest guy on the block kind of talk. But I feel, as time has gone on, I feel like the oldest guy on the block, all right? Because it just seems like every time I do a movie 2 years later or something, the industry has moved even further away from how I do it, and everyone does it completely different, or the rules on sets and everything are just very, very different from the way I remember them. And it just keeps going like that all the time, even further and further away. And, you know, but one of the things that I do, just amongst a zillion of them, but one of the things that's a big deal for me, one, I don't use a monitor when I'm making a movie, which seems like everybody has some little video village. No.
There's no monitor there.
No monitor. I mean, there might be a little hand monitor so I can keep track of something I'm holding in my hand, you know. But it's something like this, so I'm watching the scene and just take a glance if I want to.
So it goes right to your mind's eye.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just trying to check the framing or something. But the whole deal, though, is that's not how you do it. What you do is I didn't conjure all this up, so I would be in another room watching television as my actors are out there doing their scene. All right, I take the camera, I frame the damn shot, and I sit right next to the camera. Either I'm operating the camera, which I didn't do that much on this movie, but I did much more on Bastard.
I thought you'd already made the point that what you discovered about being a great filmmaker is that you could hire these people to do all those things.
Yeah, well, no. Yeah,
so you could hire a great cinematographer and done. You know, cinematography.
And I do have a great cinematographer, but sometimes I just like to have the fun.
You hire yourself to write it, so you don't have to worry about the script.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I like the fun of actually operating the camera. Sometimes it's kind of fun. Yeah. All right.
Soderbergh used to do that too.
Yeah, oh no, he does it all the time. That's his thing. But I like actually, you know, more. It's like the camera's here, the actors are right here, and I'm right here. I'm right next to the camera, and I'm watching the scene. I can actually even talk to the actors during the scene. I'm saying I do that all the time, but maybe I come up with a line. I throw the line at them, say that. Or maybe I'm their inner voice. Maybe I'm their conscience. As they're talking about, you know, somebody says something, he looks at them, and I go, what does that mean? What the hell does that mean?
Yeah.
All right? Or he's lying. Don't let him get away with that. Or whatever. I'm not saying that I do that all the time, but if I feel like it, it just comes out and I do it. But also what's important to me, and this is something that has changed a lot as time has gone on, it's standard now on most movies and all television shows to, at the very least, have 2 cameras operating at all times. If not 3, if not 4, if not 5, if not 6. If not more, but at the very least 2. And in that scenario, it's like, okay, you have your main shot that you want, and then there's this other camera, and then you're sticking it somewhere, all right, where it's not seeing this one and it's not seeing any other equipment, but you know, it's a sloppy angle, but it's just there to give you a little bit more footage in the editing room, and you know, so you can just kind of get through your day a little bit easier. Obviously, but now you have to kind of split the lighting as opposed to just for your shot. I don't want that. I have one camera on the set, and the only shot we're shooting is the shot I'm framing. I frame the shot, and Bob Richardson lights the shot for that frame, and that's it. And I don't want sloppy-ass crap, all right, you know, in there that I can just cut to. If any composition you see in my movie was composed by me, and that's what we meant to do that minute of that day.
Any composition I see in a movie of yours was composed by you.
By you, yeah.
And to compose it means what?
Means to set the frame.
Okay, just to set the frame.
Yeah.
That means to compose it.
Yeah, place the camera.
How close it is, where, you know.
Exactly. Balance the frame with anything, make it right.